Today's question comes from Eric in Iowa. Eric writes, my girlfriend and I are 26 and have been dating for about a year, and we both have similar amounts of student loan debt. I really want to pay off my student loans within the next couple of years because all of the stress that it causes me. My girlfriend wants to live it up while we're young and ignore her student loans for as long as possible. I feel guilty when we spend money on entertainment and vacations because it's postponing our journey to becoming debt-free. Whenever I bring up my concerns about our spending habits, she becomes dismissive. I'm worried that she views paying off student loans as an insurmountable challenge. How can I convince her to take action with me? If I can't, is this a lost cause? Dave, this doesn't sound like it's about debt. This sounds like about somebody who loves somebody, and he keeps trying to say, hey, this is an important value for me in the continuation of our relationship. And the person he loves is saying, it's not for me, and we're going to move on. And that's hard. That's real hard.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a heartbreak here.
Yep.
Either sooner or later.
Yeah.
Or she's going to suddenly grow up, one of the two, because she's being a child. So, Eric, here's the problem. The number one cause of divorce in North America today, the number one thing people fight about is money and money problems. And so when you are not in agreement, not in alignment on the number one problem in marriage, that's like a flare going off. Warning, 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 warning. You're about to screw up. That's what that's saying, right? I mean, if like the number one way that your car blows up is when this one light comes on.
And it comes on?
You
pull over quick.
You're about to blow your freaking car up. I mean, you're not the exception to this, okay? So that's what's going on. That's where you are. And so regardless of her motivation, her reason, her lack of hope, or she's just a princess or whatever it is, she's not in alignment with you. And you guys you're using a lot of we language with a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Okay, there's not a we when it's a girlfriend. There's a we date, but we don't have a budget because there's not a we. You're not married. When you're married, it's a we. Yeah. But until you're married, it's not a we. And even when it's a fiance, it's not a we. It's a future we, but it's not a we. And right now, this is just a girlfriend. You said that 3 times, by the way.
Yeah, and I had a buddy who talked to me. He gave me this phrase when it came to eating right and exercising. And he said, man, being 100 pounds overweight is really hard. It's exhausting. Your knees hurt, your back hurts. It's hard. And exercising and losing 100 pounds is really hard. So the goal here isn't avoidance of hard. The goal is what hard are you going to choose?
And by not choosing a hard, you automatically choose
something hard. That's right. So it's not avoiding the discomfort. So I'll use that same phrase with Eric. Being with somebody that you love who constantly dismisses a value you have, you constantly feel guilt, even when you're having fun and doing joyful things together, is going to be really hard. It's a hard way to live. And having a conversation with somebody you love saying, I'm scared about debt. I don't want to enter into a marriage with you and still have this stuff. Can we start now? Is going to be a hard conversation. Pick your heart. Either way, moving forward, you're going to have a hard conversation. It's better to have it on the front end and be honest and be direct and then move on.
Well, I'm afraid we'll break up. Well, you're going to break up, Dave.
You're going to break up.
It's just a matter of whether it's after you're married and $200,000 in debt, or whether before you're married and you don't have her debt yet.
I tell addicts, you're going to get a group. You get to choose one, or the court will order you into one. You get to pick. You're going to break up, yes. Is a lawyer going to take your money or not?
Yeah,
right? Have the conversation.
How much pain and children are going to be involved? That's the only question. So, this is not the thing. So, but she could say, okay, it's a big deal to you, and maybe I need to look at this.
And let's turn around on Eric. Don't come to her and say, hey, we got to get this debt paid off. Come to her and say,
there's not a we, by the way.
I'm scared.
I'm paying off my debt, and for us to go forward, we've got to be in alignment. You can't break, so
I'm not going to go on vacations.
Having debt is not a reason to break up.
No.
Not being in alignment on money and how it's going to be handled, and children and how they're going to be handled, and if we're going to have them, and in-laws that are crazy and how we're going to deal with them, and religion. These are the 4 things,
right.
the four horsemen that will destroy your marriage. In-laws, extended family, how we're going to deal with the crazy extended family, because there's one in every pile, I'm just telling you. And how, are we going to have kids, and are the inmates going to run the asylum, or are the kids going to behave? All this kind of stuff. Money, how are we going to handle that? Are we going to save? Are we going to live within our means? Are we going to stay out of debt? Are we just going to go YOLO? Thank God it's Friday. I'm a child, and which is what she's doing. And we're going to have, I believe in God, and I think you're an idiot for believing in God. These are our two religions.
Yep.
This is not going to work either. So it's very, very difficult. Those are the four most likely things, value system things, heavy discussions that enter into the put poison in the DNA of a marriage.
Yeah, and I think beneath that is, how are we going to, if you tell me one of your values and I don't believe it's a value of mine, how am I going to respond? Am I going to ignore you? Am I going to blow you off? Am I going to say, I'll hold your hand and go deeper down that? Let's go talk to somebody. Let's get some more information. Let's go meet with experts. How are we going to approach those crossroads when we have them is also, I think, it's important, man. And this just complete dismissal, it's danger, Will Robinson. Get out.
We're going to have toxic conflict. We're going to have healthy conflict, or we're going to have no conflict, which is also toxic conflict.
That's right. Yeah. Yes. Except that one's just more insidious because it poisons everyone around you.
Yeah.
When a spouse and a husband are yelling at each other, everybody knows, stay away. When they're just burning that no conflict,
you can feel it in the air. Everyone's shoulders are tight.
Oof.
Just walk in the room and everybody's on eggshells. Yeah. So all of that to say, Eric, if you were my son, I would say, hey, time to have a, what they call it, DTR.
DTR, I learned about that too.
Define the relationship. Back when my kids were teenagers, 25 years ago, 20 years ago. It's time to define the relationship. And are we just dating? In which case you get to do whatever stupid butt stuff you want to do with your personal life. We're just dating. But if we're moving towards something more serious than dating, which is the way this is worded, a requirement of that is, A, you're not going to be dismissive of things that are important to me. This matters to me. I'm scared about this. And B, I'm not going to be dismissive of you on things that are important to you. And C, we've got to be in alignment on the big things.
Yep. I love
the little things we can work around, but the big things, can't work around those. Can't work around those.
Luckily, they got me and you, and we're perfect husbands. And
our advice is always right.
100%. Eric,
it was free.
These are two guys who've tripped and fallen a few times.
Yeah.
We've got the scars and bruises to prove it.
I've answered this question by somebody who's been married 10 years, and I've answered this question from before they ever get married. It's a lot easier before you get married.
Whew.